And welcome from us here at UBC TV to News Tonight, this Wednesday, the 22nd day of May 2019. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In our news tonight, General Montu launches his ANT party amidst pomp. Government to invest 57 billion shillings to operationalize new cities. African spy chiefs discuss cross-border crime. And Uganda Batteries Limited in court battle with Nile Batteries Limited over brand rights. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming live to you, live on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Mugalu Mohammed, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangama. Alliance for National Transformation ANT Party has been launched with emphasis on changing the mindset of the youth as a core principle. Addressing delegates, supporters and well-wishers at Serena Hotel, the party president, Major General retired Mujisha Montu, said if young people are interested in politics, a lot can easily change. He promises to build a team that will deliver on their promises, as we hear in this first story.
It is 2 months since Alliance for National Transformation Party ANT was registered on 19th March 2019 to become fully operational. The new party, led by Major General Mugisha Muntu, has been launched at Serena Conference Hall. In his speech, General Muntu says he is to focus on changing mindset of many, especially the youth, who are the majority, so that they build a strong team.
Power must be vested in institutions, not us, the individuals. Therefore, we do everything in our power to ensure that executive privilege is reduced, that of local governments is increased.
He says Ugandan youth are talented and skilled, but need a conducive environment to market their innovations.
There's no way we're going to recover that sense of dignity as a people until we get an environment where those young people can succeed. And you hear them internationally renowned.
General Muntu thanked his team for working tirelessly to this day and urged them to build on each other's strength. The keynote speaker, the Member of Parliament in the National Assembly of Tanzania, Upendo Fraha Peneza, urged young people to be committed since the party is just beginning.
Keep fears to yourself. There are times when you'll be discouraged. There are times you'll see no way ahead of you. Keep the fears to yourself and communicate courage to the rest of the group.
Alice Alaso, who was the convener, said they are committed for change. The party members plan to start a 3-month countrywide recruitment and to attract more members. Mutonyi Hilda, UBC.
Meanwhile, workers' unions and government have held parallel press conferences over the teacher strike that has entered third day. The national workers' unions have threatened to mobilize a national-wide teacher strike over government's failure to enhance teachers' salaries, whereas government has committed itself to cater for their demands in phase 2 of next financial year. Ivan Kahwa reports.
Workers' representatives at Parliament blame government for failure to remit funds to improve teachers' welfare. They argue that a collective bargaining agreement signed between government and workers' unions to enhance salaries of public servants, specifically teachers, has not yielded results despite efforts to alert government.
But government has not responded, not even bothered to ask the stakeholders or call the stakeholders to a round table as it has been the case before, so that we can agree on the way forward. And this notice elapsed on Sunday midnight, and therefore it is assumed that effective Monday the industrial action of the teachers started.
The agreement required government to enhance salaries in 2 phases, but it only managed to cater for the first phase. The concern, however, is that the second phase for financial year 2019-2020 salary enhancement has not been captured in the budget.
When it came to October and the budget cycle started, there was no mention of salary enhancement. And we kept giving government the reminders.
As workers' representatives addressed the press at Parliament, government was also giving its position at Media Center in Kampala.
We have heard about the other critical government pressing needs which can't wait. And if the funds are not enough, we can't go to borrow to pay salaries. Definitely we will have to trigger that clause of the amendment provided for in the agreement to call the unions and we discuss with them.
It is until next financial year, 2019-2020, that the salary enhancement issue for teachers might be resolved.
These teachers, being in Uganda, they will hope they will understand about the need to address these critical issues and the need to wait.
We are calling upon Parliament to make sure that they don't pass this budget if the issue of salary enhancement for all the workers as stipulated in collective bargaining agreement are not considered.
Of course, the budgeting process is underway, has been deliberated on alongside the other competing critical government priorities, and those are completion of the critical oil roads, the infrastructure.
Workers' representatives argue that a tune of 500 billion should be allocated to finance the welfare of public servants in the next phase, but government is planning to allocate 49 and 13 billion to the education and health sector respectively in phase 2. An ultimatum of up to 27th this month has been set by workers' representatives in the country, and if as of the date government doesn't react accordingly, schoolgoers will miss out on studies in government schools. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News at Parliament.
Thanks, Carl, for that report. And of course, teachers, they are seen as far as their remuneration is concerned, and they think it should also be a priority. Government is to invest more 57 billion shillings in the 9 municipalities after being elevated to city status. Now, this increment comes on top of the 111 billion shillings they have been receiving as municipalities for effective operationalization beginning financial year 2020-2021 to 2023-2024. The Minister for Local Government, Tom Butime, said this will play a distinctive role in Uganda's drive for equitable socio-economic development, transformation and poverty reduction.
Cabinet on 20th of May approved a phased operationalization of the new 9 cities to be spread over 3 financial years, starting from 2020-21. This comes as one of government's plans to elevate the country to middle-income status by 2040. The Minister for Local Government, Tom Butime, says, in addition to achieving equitable socio-economic development, it is meant to address the current levels of rapid urbanization.
Concentration of development in Kampala has exerted pressure on the overall functioning of the city infrastructure and the services, resulting into mushrooming of slums. So people have been coming all over from the rural areas where we all come from, all of them conglomerating in Kampala, isn't it? For services and jobs, etc. So if you create more developed, more attended to urban areas, you will reduce the arrival of so many people in Kampala.
6 cities that include Moroto for strategic mining, Nakasongola strategic industrial, Soroti regional, Masaka regional, Kabale regional and Wakiso were studied for elevation and will start in the financial year 2023-24.
The second batch of cities, which include Mbale, regional, because Mbale has long over time been the regional headquarters of Eastern region. And Hoima Strategic Oil City will be operationalized financial year 2021-2022.
Although these municipalities will receive city status, operations, administration and management will remain the same. Each city will have only 2 divisions. Population, density and level of urbanization are some of the things considered in elevating a municipality to city status.
There are those cities of strategic nature. For example, we are talking about Nakasongora. In terms of population, it is still low. In terms of land, there is land. But in terms of density, population density, it is low. But because of the requirement for it to be a strategic industrial town, it will be studied and possibly created. Look at Moroto, in terms of population. So, whereas we have the criteria for selection, there are also special considerations, and that's why some of these cities are called strategic.
Creating of cities is being done under the Local Governments Act, and the Ministry of Local Government has already made exhaustive consultations with relevant ministries like that of Lands, Urban Development and Finance. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Kampala.
Now, the victims of Idi Amin's brutal regime Wednesday shared heartily stories of the trauma inflicted on them with the audience at the sidelines of the Unseen Archives exhibition at the Uganda Museum. The panel discussion interactions, which saw numerous individuals share experiences, also climaxed today. Uganda Broadcasting Corporation's exhibition of the Unseen Archive will, however, remain open to the public until November 2019.
Came to my mind was I used to believe so much in my father, and I believed that somehow he had escaped, because for us we never buried him, we never saw his body. So I kept on hoping that now that people are coming back, my father would come. I waited 79, 80, the man was not coming up. Then I remember I sat in my room and I cried. I said, my father is dead. It took me long to believe he was dead.
Do you remember of any times when possibly your father was with Idi Amin and you possibly have anything to recall about that before his death? On those good days now, I'm looking at the bishop and the president.
I only, I've had stories about my dad going to State House. My mom tells these stories because she insisted a couple of times on going with my dad. My mom, for some reason, had these misgivings about the way Amin viewed my father and what he was doing. And she was always warning him, be careful. And she was one of those people who wanted him to get out of the country. There are several people who said they talked to him actually after listening to what was being said in circles of state research and other security circles. There are people who warned him and said, you should get out of the country, you should go.
And the few Asians who remained here, I think they also left later on because maybe they were being threatened. And during those eras, up to 72, I had met Amin 4 times because...
You personally?
Personally. It means we were moving with the security, especially we went to a cargo place where Amin asked, he says, what is all this? He says, these are the goods you allowed them to take it. He said, did I allow anyone to take anything? He said, yes, Mr. President.
Had you forgotten that?
You had said 250 kilos of personal effect. And this is what you see it here.
Victims of the Idi Amin regime, they are having their son, of course, bringing back those memories. Remember that the exhibition still continues, and you are free to go to that place and get a glimpse of the photos there that have been put in place courtesy of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. News Tonight takes a short break, but we'll return with much more. Stay with us.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Displays that will leave you enthralled. Make a date with us during the first Sunday of every month. With over 2,000 participants at one venue, we aim to keep healthy, network, ensure viable brand positioning, and make friends while having fun during our monthly sports festival.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, assisted on sign language by Mogalu Mohammed. Now, members of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region have been urged to meet their financial obligations towards fighting cross-border crime. The conference executive secretary, Ambassador Zachary Muburi Mwita, says lack of funds has delayed formulation of the regional strategy to fight terrorism. Now, this was during the conference's 14th Regional Coordination Committee meeting of the Directors General and Chiefs of Intelligence and Security Services here in Kampala.
When one talks about threats to world security, terrorism is always top on the list, which unfortunately does not spare Africa. This is why 12 African states came together under one umbrella of International Conference of Great Lakes region. The objective was to fight terror and other such cross-border crimes. Strategies have been adopted, success of which is highlighted.
Since we last met in Brazzaville in July last year, a number of milestones have been realized in our region. And these include, but are not limited to, the successful and peaceful elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the signing of the peace agreement between the government of the Central African Republic and 14 rebel groups, mediated by the government of Sudan and the African Union.
This milestone, however, has not been without challenges, with negative forces hindering socio-economic development. Threats of terror continue to attract more alarms than whispers among Africans, with ISIS, a renowned terrorist group, reported to have recently infiltrated Africa.
No country benefits from the presence of these groups, and we need to deal with this problem and free our people to engage in developmental activities and be able to live dignified lives. United, we shall achieve even more in the coming years.
In embracing this emphasized unity comes another challenge of delayed honoring of financial obligations by member states.
I have asked for an urgent appointment with the chair of the summit, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Congo. I want to go deliver to him an SOS letter. I'm going to copy it to all the members of the summit. And I say, if anything happened, if the Secretariat is closed up tomorrow, God forbid, I don't want anybody to accuse me. What did you do as Executive Secretary? Did you raise the alarm bells to the highest decision-making body organ of our organization.
Whereas countries contribute depending on their economic strength, only Kenya and Uganda have honored their financial obligations for the year 2019.
So therefore we want to be the one paying the piper so that we can call our tune. If you don't pay the piper, then somebody else, you want one song, but the one paying, they will say, I want this song, and that's the one that will be sung. So it was a general appeal then for member states then to really step up and grab the bull by the horns so that we can fund our programs much more.
This was emphasized by Uganda's Chief of Defense Forces, General David Muhoozi. He underscored the need for cooperation in fighting terror, money laundering, and drug dealings.
Cross-border crimes, money laundering, drug trafficking, human trafficking, illegal migrations, activities by negative armed groups, environmental degradation, job or employment insecurity, among others, require cooperative efforts by the intelligence community to address and advise strategic leadership.
The International Conference of the Great Lakes Region is an intergovernmental organization comprising of 12 member countries in the African Great Lakes region. Directors General and Chiefs of Intelligence and Security Services are meeting in Kampala to discuss peace and security with emphasis on fighting cross-border crime. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report there. And in a related development, senior UPDF leaders have emphasized the strategic value of apprenticeship in Uganda's quest to industrialize. Now, this was stated during their tour of the Uganda Industrial Research Institute, UIRI Machining, Manufacturing and Industrial Skills Training Center, a project located on a 15-acre piece of land within the Kampala Industrial and Business Park, Namamve. Led by the Chief of Defense Forces, General David Muhoozi, they commended both the Uganda government and head of the UIRI, Professor Charles Kwesiga, for his progressive approach in tackling challenges to development, singling skills development as one of them. While taking the officers on a guided tour of both the Skilling and Manufacturing Center, Professor Kwesiga briefed officers on the objectives of the project. General Muhoozi expressed UPDF's interest in partnering with UIRI to boost capacity within the Forces Engineering Department and also act as a vehicle for skilling soldiers in preparation for their life after retirement. Now, some of the skills training programs to be conducted at this center include computer-aided engineering, design and manufacturing, tie and die production, precision machining, welding and fabrication, non-destructive laboratory testing, electronics and electronic systems design, among others. Now, the center will boost the competitiveness of local industries, create a hub for robotic training and manufacturing that should contribute to easing manual industrious initiatives, as well as produce high-value human resource that will contribute to the effective operation of both the center and the manufacturing sector. Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, in collaboration with the Iranian Cultural Center here in Kampala, has launched the 2019 Quran recitation competitions. The activity, which is the 8th of its kind, has already attracted over 100 participants and is believed to be a positive contribution to the Islamic religion and the country at large. We have more in this report.
The owner of this book.
Over 100 participants have already booked their positions for the 2019 Quran recitation competition at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation.
Thank you.
The activities reflect moments of cleansing spiritual bodies through understanding the Holy Quran. UBC Managing Director Winston Agaba says the initiative is in line with promoting peace in the country, Islam being a key player too.
So it is much more the quality that is improving over the years, and it's becoming very competitive, and the prizes too that are given are quite lucrative and enticing. So we hope that from year on year it will be better and better. Let's all embrace religion, because all the religions preach peace and they preach harmony. So we call upon all the sponsors that can come forth and sponsor such events to really give us the support such that we can relay this to the whole country.
While launching the 8th edition of the Quran recitation at UBC, Muhammad Reza, the cultural counselor at the Embassy of Iran, urges other organizations to pick a leaf from UBC and promote the activities for the good of the country.
Just encourage us, recite, understand the meaning, and use what you learned to development of the beloved country, Uganda, here. Schools, they have to join to this movement and organizing Holy Quran competition, recitation, and also understanding the meaning of the Holy Quran and using in the society, and society will be very safe society.
The activities will finalize next Thursday, which will also witness winners walking away with several prizes, including refrigerators, TV screens, among others.
And it is clear that everyone knows we have interest in the faith, Islamic faith, and we follow each and everything. We try to live with them, to stay with them during the time of especially Ramadan.
Daniel Mugoya reporting.
Now, pilgrims from Gulu Archdiocese have reached Namgongo Martyrs Shrine for the preparation of the Martyrs' Day next month. Government Chief Whip Ruth Nankabirwa has assured Christians of maximum security as they pray for the Holy Martyrs.
The road to Namgongo is almost that of Calvary, where Jesus Christ was made to carry the cross. In the months of May and June, Christians trek long distances to celebrate the Holy Martyrs, who were murdered following orders from Kabaka Mwanga.
A number of foot pilgrims are on the way coming.
Where are they right now?
This morning when we reached, we met them around just beyond Migera. And they're walking very well. There is no problem they are facing. They are moving well. They have a lot of medics with them. Foodstuffs, drinks like water. This morning they were preparing for them porridge. They were really enjoying. And among us, the people walking, we have Ambassador Olarotuno is with them. I think he joined them all the way from Dima and is walking up to this place.
Gulu Archdiocese is the organizer of this year's prayers at the Catholic Shrine Namgongo Buloli.
Yeah, so please, we invite all the people of God. This day is very, very important for us, the people of Uganda, for us, the Christians, that we come to give glory, honor, and praise to God through these martyrs who have really left the legacy. And the legacy is obey God always and everywhere in your life.
At the Protestant Martyrs Shrine, Nachianja, preparations for Martyrs celebration is underway with the Government Chief Whip, Ruth Nankabirwa, and Chairperson Organizing Committee in charge.
We shall receive children on the 26th of this month, which is going to be a Sunday. We are dedicating it to the children. They are coming from all corners of this country, and we are expecting more than 5,000 children here at Namgongo.
That good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
The first pilgrims to arrive and do Martyrs celebrations are from United States of America.
So my name is Dr. J.J. Wright, and I'm the director of the Notre Dame Folk Choir. We're here in Uganda from the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. And we're here on a choir pilgrimage where we're going to get the opportunity to visit 6 different Holy Cross mission sites.
The 22 Catholic martyrs were burnt in Namgongo, and one of them was Kaloli Rwanga. And other 25 martyrs were 13 Protestants and 12 Catholics, burnt at Nachianja on 3rd June 1886. Sudat Kai reporting.
UBC TV will be at both the Catholic and Anglican shrines to bring you the prayers live here on UBC TV and our Star TV Plus, the radio channels that belong to UBC. Health matters now, and about 25 patients have been screened with fistula and 15 successfully operated on at a free medical camp underway at Kisizi Hospital in Rukunjiri district. The camp has been organized by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund ahead of the World Obstetric Fistula Day to be commemorated in the district tomorrow under the theme "Fistula is a Human Rights Violation, End It Now." Our reporter Banadiga is on ground in Rukunjiri and gives us this report.
At Kisizi Hospital in Rukunjiri district, I caught up with Tusime Brenda, aged 33, who had just been operated fistula. The mother of 5 and a resident of Bushonje village, Ruhinda sub-county, says she got a tear after the delivery of her first baby, but didn't know it would turn into fistula.
Demanding, telling my husband to give me money, and I go to hospital for treatment, but he would not mind, he didn't care. Until this time, I heard of the opportunity and I came for the repair.
She says the condition worsened when she delivered her third baby at Kamgisha Clinic in Ruhinda sub-county. Brenda has been stitched several times whenever she delivered, but the situation instead worsened to a point of leaking feces.
I was stitched, but then later after discharge I realized the stitches were not firm, and whenever I delayed to go to the toilet, the urine would flow out.
She's among the over 15 fistula patients that have been operated at Kisizi Hospital at a free medical camp organized by the Ministry of Health and UNFPA Uganda. By press time, 25 patients had been screened for fistula, an abnormal hole between a woman's birth canal and bladder that causes her to leak urine and feces uncontrollably.
And that is also another devastating condition that we help women come out of. A few of them come with, masses, their uteruses and bladder and rectum prolapsing through down there. And it's a very uncomfortable condition that we also do correct.
Dr. Okabwe Henry, a gynecologist at Kisizi Hospital, says it takes between 30 to an hour to operate a patient depending on the condition, but recovery goes beyond the repair.
But if you find a very complicated one, you might go up to 2 to 3 hours. However, fistula treatment does not only involve the time spent for surgery. Okay, we have much more. We put in a patient will take about 3 months before they are really fully recovered.
As Tusime goes to recovery ward, she is hopeful that the battle will be defeated.
I can't feel any pain because I'm just out of theater, but I'm grateful for the services, and I already have 5 children, so I don't look forward to having another child because of the experience I have gone through.
And we've seen from past experience that when they come back after a month, they are all praises for the surgery that was done. So we are very hopeful that it's not going to be a physical repair alone, but after 1 month their emotional and spiritual life will be much better, and they'll come back and they will testify.
Almost all fistulas can be prevented if women have access to skilled maternity care during pregnancy and childbirth, according to Dr. Francis Vanya, an obstetrician and gynecologist at Kisizi Hospital, who says the number of cases registered here have decreased. Now, treating a fistula patient is not an easy job as you might think. You have to be as careful as you can see surgeons behind me here trying to save the dignity of a woman. Bernard Yiga, UBC TV, Kisizi Hospital, Rukunjiri district.
Very good move, that one, and of course those women will definitely, their dignity will indeed be restored as they recover from that fistula disease. The government is set to inject 29 billion Ugandan shillings in the national rollout of the Social Assistance Grant for Empowerment, SAGE. Now, this was revealed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development during the presentation of the NRM on Phase 2 week. The SAGE program targets to financially support older people from 60 years and above.
Brought them back. We should roll out to the whole country. But rolling out to the whole country means reducing on the age limit. Because the program was to support all the people from the ages of 65 and above, with the exception of Karamoja at 60. But because of lack of funds, we could not roll out to the entire country at 65 years. So it has been decided that come 1st of July 2019, we shall roll out to the whole country, but to those people beyond the age of 80. Those who have been getting from 65 will continue because we cannot remove that money from them. But that means that as we continue to get funds, we shall continue to come down from 80, maybe to 75, maybe to 75, to 60. But that will be dictated by the funds that we shall get from Treasury. Is how do you address these challenges that we meet? So with
gender, labor and development there, Pius Bijirimana ending that report there, and of course that's about the NRM manifesto. And in a related development, the Ministry of Water and Environment has performed way above average, with its rating standing at 78% in as far as implementation of the NRM manifesto is concerned. This was revealed at a stock-taking event hosted at the President's office, where different ministries, departments and agencies are showcasing to the nation how much they have done in line with their roles and responsibilities.
President Yoweri Museveni pledged a number of issues, and in areas of water and environment, he pledged increased accessibility to clean water, construction of gravity flow schemes, as well as heightened environmental conservation, among others. During a mid-term review of the performance of Ministry of Water and Environment, it was revealed that 78% of the pledges have been fulfilled.
In rural water, overall rural water coverage increased from 67% in June 2016 to 70% in June 2018, and is projected to reach 71% as at June 2019. Supply in urban areas has increased from 77% from 71% in 2016. With the number of towns under National Water and Sewerage Corporation increasing from 112 to 238 in 29.
Minister for Water and Environment Sam Cheptoris says there are numerous projects ongoing that will further boost water coverage across the country. Appreciative of the fact that climate change remains a big problem in the country, Minister Cheptoris explains that plans are at the tail end to have mega irrigation schemes situated in different parts of the country, a move that is expected to encourage commercial farming, thus improved livelihoods. However, coming to the area of environment and wetlands protection and management, the ministry is yet to make headway, with issues like understaffing and corruption cited as bottlenecks. According to Ministry of Water and Environment officials, there are only 187 police personnel spread across the country, which is way below the required 500.
We have 506 central government forests, and all these forests are under attack because Ugandans have decided that the grid should be the order of the day. So, big men in police, I think we shall be writing to the Inspector General to see whether he can give us more officers to help protect our forests.
Like other ministries, acquisition of land for development was also cited as one of the hindrances to implementation of government projects by the ministry. Minister Cheptori suggests that revision and amendment of the land law be handled soonest.
I was in an area called Ngenge, that is in Kwen district, and the people were complaining they had not been. We are undertaking a very big irrigation project for the area, and the people were saying they wanted to stop the project. In fact, some people had gone around telling them that government was going to take. The reason why government is putting the irrigation scheme there is because they want to grab the land. You know, sometimes our people don't understand that the government has a responsibility to give them services. So they agreed to allow us to continue. But the question of acquisition of land is a very serious matter. That really needs to be addressed.
When challenged on reasons as to why natives are evicted to pave way for investors, even in reserves like wetlands, citing sand mining sector, the ministry defended the act, saying the country is in dire need for large chunks of sand to facilitate infrastructure development.
So, if you have noted of late, we have really enhanced our enforcement and we are very strict on the conditions that are put in the permits. And we have now developed what we call sand mining guidelines that will guide the activities regarding sand mining.
The ongoing manifesto activities running until the 24th of this month are geared at providing a platform for the ruling party to take stock of what it has done since the beginning of Chisanja Hakuna Mchezo in 2016. Dorcas Kimonan Sudat Kaye, UBC TV News.
News now, and Total has developed a solar sunshine kiosk that will address a range of solar solutions to meet demands of people on the African continent. Now, the latest is as they present the development to support startups in Africa in line with technological innovations.
Total is demonstrating its ambition to guarantee access to clean energy for 25 million people in Africa by 2025. To achieve this, Total has developed a range of solar solutions to meet individual, collective or business needs, such as the off-grid shop Sunshine Kiosk.
Part of our range of products includes what we call the family sunshine. This is what it looks like in real life. That's the carton. And this is a product that can last 21 hours at low mode with a light intensity of 210 lumens and with a turbo boost which gives you 300 lumens over a short period of time. And this is a typical lantern like what we know at home. You can use it at whatever articulation you want, hang it, have it stand on the table, and you can read and write with this. Also, it can charge your mobile phone through use of a USB cable, which you plug into here. And this is quite a very versatile product, quite affordable, and we are addressing sustainable goal number 7 with this product.
Total is a leading distributor of petroleum products on the continent, registering 2 million consumers of their product per day. As a move to give back to its customers, Total supports African entrepreneurs through the Start-Uppers of the Year Challenge. The first edition took place in 2016 in 34 African countries, and now the second edition extended to 55 countries around the world.
Recyclement is the first natural and biodegradable sanitary napkins on Mauritius. This is something that I've been working on for the past 18 months, and it's finally here. And there it is, natural, biodegradable, made of bamboo and cone fibers.
In each country, 3 winners receive financial support, high media visibility, and professional support. A Female Start-Up of the Year category has also been created to support women entrepreneurs. Total employees over 10,000 workers, constituting 10% of its workforce in 40 countries. Sandra Kahundiagaba, UBC News.
Thanks, Sandra, for that report. And the Public-Private Partnership Unit of the Ministry of Finance has launched the PPP Disclosure Web Portal. The portal will support the government's commitment to institutionalizing greater transparency and accountability for PPP projects.
Uganda currently has a financing gap of about $1.5 billion a year for infrastructure investment, which the government is addressing through several financing options, including PPPs as indicated in the Second National Development Plan 2015-2020.
We also thought it is wise to have a disclosure mechanism so that down the road, our committee, the PPP unit, and the government has clearly from the word go put out in the open what we are doing, as opposed to us starting and running with projects, and then tomorrow we get audit queries, we get questions, and people don't know what all this is about.
PPP Act 2015 establishes transparency and accountability as key governing principles for the implementation of PPPs in Uganda and provides for the disclosure of project agreements. The new innovation is meant to support government's commitment to institutionalizing greater transparency and accountability for PPP projects.
And government, that we do tackle this holistically and that we get committed. Because it would appear to me that some FDAs are shy and they are trying to avoid this route.
The web portal, developed by the Public-Private Partnership Unit of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, with support from the World Bank and UK's Department for International Development, DFID, will contain core PPP project cycle information such as feasibility studies, procurement solicitation documents, cabinet approvals, project documents and project agreements, among others.
Sustainability is essential, and to have sustainability of disclosure and transparency inside the PPP process, we need ownership, and there has to be strong ownership of all stakeholders concerned, and this includes the government, all the government stakeholders, the line ministries, the PPP unit, the Office of Auditor General, who have been very supportive in this entire process.
To ensure wider public engagement, the PPP unit will make efforts to disseminate summarized and simplified project information in local languages using offline methods such as posters. Dennis Igora for UBC News.
Now, British American Tobacco Uganda, BAT Uganda, has declared dividends of 13.7 billion shillings in the year ended 2018. Now, the company claims to pay out 100% of the dividend to its shareholders by the end of this month. Authorities say the company has optimized their resources and would not need to invest further in the country. Despite the smiling financial position, Eli Karuhanga, the board chairman BAT Uganda, decries persistent illegal trade that claims over 22% of market share and what he calls unbalanced regulations.
British American Tobacco Uganda executives spoke to the media after a closed annual general meeting session this afternoon in Kampala. They nevertheless had good news for shareholders who are to share 100% of dividends of the year 2018 for a total dividend of 280 shillings per share.
Our company policy in terms of dividend payout is 100% of the profits that we made. So as the chairman said, we made 13.7 billion shillings last year. We'll pay all that money in dividends to our shareholders.
Whatever profit we make, we give it to our shareholders, and then we start again.
BAT Uganda commands over 80% market share of the tobacco industry in Uganda and relies this strong market position and business performance on a number of macroeconomic factors, as Dr. Eli Karuhanga, the chairman BAT Uganda, explains.
So we actually made 103 billion, right? Then the government looked at our profit and they regulated. They said, okay, the only way to deal with this company, they have made 103 billion, let's take 90 billion.
However, Karuhanga decries unbalanced regulatory and taxation environment coupled with illicit cross-border cigarette trade, which he accuses to still hold grip of 22% of cigarette trade share in Uganda.
If we stopped the illicit trade that goes on through smuggling by people who bring here cigarettes which are not paying tax, government would have earned another 26 billion, making it 116 billion plus.
Recently, BAT Uganda has had a rocky relationship with Uganda over taxation and regulation. In 2017, the company sued Uganda government over the Tobacco Control Act of 2015. Production of cigarettes for the region has also shifted to Nairobi in the neighboring Kenya. David Matovo for UBC in Kampala.
World Bank Implementation Support and Review Mission is in the country to review the progress of agricultural programs under the Ministry of Agriculture. Now, top among them is the 5-year Agriculture Cluster Development Project being implemented in 5 districts of Uganda. The Commissioner Crop Inspection in the Ministry of Agriculture says farmers are registering high production since they access inputs at the right time. Henry Okrut gives us more.
5 districts were earmarked for a number of World Bank-funded agricultural enterprises. Nebi was cited for cassava, Amuria for rice, Iganga for maize, Ntungamo for coffee and beans, and Karungu for coffee. The goal was to increase and boost productivity.
This is in line with the ministry mission of transforming subsistence agriculture into commercial farming. What do we mean? We mean that the 68% of our farmers who have been working for only consumption are now being supported to enter into the money economy.
The project currently ongoing involves the use of the e-voucher system to access subsidy, which involves registration of farmers on the e-voucher system. A total of 48,000 farmers have so far been registered throughout the country. Nakai Halima is one of them, from Ntungamo district in western Uganda.
This project has been there for us because it has given us seeds, where by the other time where we were in 2016, an individual we just managed to buy our own seeds, which was not also, it was very crucial to us, or it was a problem to us.
The quarterly review of all World Bank funded projects is for ease of implementation, planning and overseeing of project performance.
So we are very hopeful that many of those activities that we thought would start much later can actually start right away. And to me, this is one of the biggest encouragements that we have received yesterday and today.
Henry Okorut, UBC.
This is very interesting.
Look now at what's happening in the world of sport, and we begin with cricket, where Uganda's chances of progressing at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Africa Region Final have been dented following a narrow 1-run loss to Kenya. In the game played at the Lugogo Oval, Kenya won the toss and elected to bat, a move that yielded it 146 runs at the loss of 6 wickets in its mandatory 20 overs. Uganda's chase was started by Zephania Adenaitwe and Hamu Kayondo, and this combination only lasted till 14 runs when Zephania Adenaitwe's wicket was taken. Kayondo scored 31 runs and lasted till the 9th over, with Uganda still looking good at 64 runs after a loss of just 4 wickets. Now only one team qualifies to contest the last T20 World Cup qualifier that takes place in the United Arab Emirates later this year. Athletics now, and the former head of Kenya's track and field team has been banned from athletics for 10 years. An IAAF ethics panel found Major Michael Rotich agreed to give advance notice of drugs tests to athletes and coaches for financial gain. It said that the purpose of the agreement was to assist those athletes to flush their systems of banned substances before taking doping tests. Rotich managed the Kenyan athletics team at the 2016 Olympics in Rio.
Drug tests, the former Olympic.
It is coming to 4 minutes to the hour of 11 here in the studios of UBC TV, and we've finally come to the end of this bulletin. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our news tonight, General Muntu launches his ANT party amidst poll. Government to invest 57 billion shillings to operationalize new cities. African spy chiefs discuss cross-border crime. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Mugalu Mohammed. And I'm Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.